Welcome to Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. I'm Joe Reed, and with me, contributor Kendra Winchester, and I have her for the whole week. Welcome, Kendra.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. We have so many great audiobooks to talk about.
I know, and tell me how your Christmas was first.
Well, we went out to my parents' house in Kentucky, and the corgis frapped about the backyard. They had a great time, and yeah, they actually get cold. I live in South Carolina, so up in Kentucky, we actually get cold weather. So it's
Ah,
really nice to actually like sit in front of their fire and be all cozy.
oh, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you had a good time. And so, how are you going to see us into the new year?
Well, we have sort of like a potpourri bag of different books, so there's a little something for everyone.
Beginning with?
Compound Fracture by Andrew Joseph White, and this is read by Dani Martineck. And this is a young adult novel. It's young adult horror, and it's set in Western Virginia. Not to be confused with Western Virginia, it's Western Virginia.
I actually know Western Virginia.
Really? This particular story is around Miles. Now, Miles is a young trans teenager and he is just starting to come out to his family. But a big problem is that he and his family have a blood feud going on. So, his family, the Abernathys, have this ongoing conflict with the Davies family. And Miles' dad was in an accident caused by Sheriff Davies, and they don't have proof, but they
S-
finally found photos that prove it. That's really where the novel starts.
So, it's kind of generational trauma and
Yes,
history.
yes.
That's always interesting.
I think it's so interesting because there's that mystery there of like what happened with Miles's dad and trying to find the photos. I think the big event that kind of kicks off the conflict of the novel is that Miles is like chased down and beaten up pretty badly by Sheriff Davies' son and his son's friends. And so Miles ends up in the hospital. He's just come out to his parents, and it's all kind of a hot mess, and that's really where the novel begins.
Wow, okay. You said it's horror. How does the horror aspect the mystery kind of makes sense, but the horror of it, where does that come in?
Yes, so there is an ancestor of Miles. His grandfather was basically murdered by one of the Davies. They took a railroad spike and killed him, we will say. And so there's a lot of description. There's a lot of bodily horror. There's a lot of violence
Oh,
in this book. But there's also this ghost of this ancestor, like following Miles around. And he's like, what is this ghost trying to say? But the ghost isn't really able to speak. So there's a mystery there, too, of what really happened to his ancestor. And, Danny Martineck,
I was gonna
I was
ask you.
so impressed. I had never listened to a book that they had performed before, but I really thought they captured Miles' narrative voice. Miles is a trans man and he's younger, so there's a lot of challenge there of capturing the right vibe and the right sound for Miles. And I think that Danny Martineck does such a perfect job because just the way they were able to get into Miles' skin and capture that emotion that Miles is feeling throughout the story is just so well done.
Can we hear Danny?
Yes, so this is right when Miles is in the hospital after he's been attacked.
This is Compound Fracture by Andrew Joseph White, read by Danny Martineck.
It takes a minute to recognize her, but my nurse is Amanda. She used to work with Mom at the nursing home before she got her degree. We like Amanda. She's a tall, shrewd faced woman who despises small talk and tells us things to our faces. She picks up my cleaned and bandaged arm with a well meaning glare. And you, Missy, she says, are not going to rip this out again. You're in bad enough shape as it is. She's right. My entire head is swollen and thick. When I touch my face, it's all bandages and splints. Several of my fingers are taped together, and my arms are a scatterplot of bruises, scrapes, gauze. I think the nail of my pinky finger is. Is it gone? My chest hurts every time I breathe in. Everything hurts. And I'm seeing things too.
Okay, so yikes, pretty vivid about the violence. But Danny, I love Danny's whisper of an accent.
Mhm. It I always get concerned when I start listening to Appalachian books, like, how are they gonna handle the accent? And I feel like this is one of the best strategies is just doing that those hints. It's, like, seasoned with an accent as opposed.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking too, like cooking, like, "Okay, a little touch of paprika."
Yeah, exactly.
So, highly recommended, but people should know that it does have some vivid violence in it.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
a lot.
That is Compound Fracture by Andrew Joseph White, and it's read by Dani Martineck. Okay, you're off to a good start. I will talk to you tomorrow, Kendra.
Alright, talk then.
This episode of Behind the Mic is made possible by Brilliance Publishing. Don't forget to follow Behind the Mic wherever you get your podcasts, and do leave us a rating. It really does help people to find us. I'm Jo Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.